Hey everybody! In anticipation of Father's Day, I created this necktie from a sheet of 8.5 by 11 or letter size paper. And what comes with it is this little clip, so you can clip it onto your collar of your shirt. Let's begin. Take a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and the first thing we're going to do is fold side to side. Line up the edges and the corners before you make your crease. Then go ahead and crease. Then open it back up. Next, we're going to take the lower right corner, and starting right at the center crease, we're going to fold that corner up to lie along that center crease. And do the same thing on the left side, so they meet. And now we'll do the same thing on the top right corner. And the top left corner. And make a little adjustment if they're not quite sharp enough at the top. And there we are. Next, we're going to bring the top right edge to the center crease through all thicknesses. So just take everything and curl it over first. Line up the top. Make sure it's nice and sharp. And go ahead and crease all the way right up top to bottom. And same thing on the left side. Line up the crease, starting at the top. And crease well. Now we want to find the midpoint between here, where this little notch, this corner is, and the tip. So to do that, bring the tip down, bring it just to touch that point here. Push down with your thumb just to make a little pinch mark and then release. We just want to remember where that pinch mark is. Now turn it over, and here's our pinch mark. Go ahead and fold it. You might want to put your finger there so it knows where to stop, and fold the point over, making sure that the point lies directly over the center crease. Now we're going to make a little pleat, so take the same point and bring it back up toward the top and leave about a 1/2 inch below the top edge. Now we're going to do some preparation creases before we do a little tuck here. So take this little right edge here, this lower edge, and bring it up to lie along the top edge here. Crease it well, it's kind of thick. And do the same thing on the left-hand side. And then unfold those two creases. Now we're going to tuck, starting with the right, lift up the flap and put your finger in this pocket so you can see. Now just tuck that corner in. Make sure the top edges align and keep tucking so that this edge flares out at an angle, something like that. It's going to vary. Each person's is going to be a little bit different. And do the same thing on the left. Lift up the flap, tuck in, and keep swiveling the edge so that these 2 points are directly across from each other. Now we're ready to turn it over and skinny. This is a very wide necktie. We want to skinny it. So turning it over to the other side. Starting with the left flap, we want to fold it over as far as you can, starting here, and fold this flap over, all thicknesses. You want this to be a nice clean angle here, no messiness there, and bring it over to about 1/3 of the distance. So the distance from here to here is the same, about the same as here to here. And next we're going to take the same thing on the left, and again make sure you push in as far as you can on the top and bring this over And how far do you bring it over? You want these 2 points at the bottom to be directly across from each other, these corners. And that's about right. It's pretty thick. And to end it, we can take this tip and fold it down. And how far? Maybe just to that point here. This is going to be the clip that holds it onto your collar. You just tuck this over. And here's your Father's Day necktie. Now, if you want it to lock, if you don't want it to be able to open like this, you could do 2 things. You could glue it down. That's one option. Or you could fold it. And what you could do, for example, is to open these flaps, and here you have a pocket. You could take this left flap and stick it into this pocket here. And that locks one of the flaps down, but this one is still opening. So what you can do with this one is if you open it up, you can see there's an edge here. You can roll this flap over and tuck it under this flap. So starting down at the bottom, work your way up toward the top, and it's very thick here, but go ahead and tuck it through, tuck it under. And now it's locked on both sides. It won't open, although it is thicker than it otherwise would be because you've got the extra layer from the folding. But it won't unfold now. And here's your necktie. And you can see these points aren't exactly right, so you can make a little adjustment if you want to. And there, that's pretty close. Hope you enjoyed this.